congratulations. First game in permanent charge and first win. Just your assessment of that game first.
Frustrating. If I'm honest. I thought his game management were really poor. Look, the conditions, it were wet. It were wet. It were probably not a game where you can throw the ball around too much, but I just thought our game management were really poor, and we probably put ourselves under way too much pressure. I think it would have been a little bit more clinical, and a little bit more concise with his attack. I think it wouldn't have put as much sort of pressure on his D. I thought his D were unbelievable yardage. They pretty much didn't get out of their own half for periods, and we drowned them. They felt, it was just little periods of the game where we thought we could have managed the ball a bit better. And if we'd have managed the ball a bit better, I think we'd have gone away with the game. So in some ways really good. Look, the lads were all, if somebody made an error, they were all getting in. The team spirit were really good. The effort were really good. The workmanlike, they worked really hard for each other. So all that can't sort of be too disgruntled at. It's just more as a little bit of game management. But I just feel like if we just had a little bit more of that, I think we'd have run away with that game.
Because you started really well. It seemed that first sort of 5-10 where you, as you say, you pinned them in. What sort of led to that unravelling a bit and allowing them back in, do you think?
Just sort of we compounded a little bit. We didn't manage his last tackles very well. So we kept tempting on sidelines. When it's wet and slippery, that's not where you want to get in, where you want to be ending up for your kicks. You want to be ending up a little bit more central where you can, get a better kick away. So then we were rushing his kicks, not doing very well in his last plays. So it just put us under then a bit more pressure. Whereas I think it would have been a bit more game management about where we end up, and before we got to the kick, I think that would have helped us a lot.
You touched on it a little bit a second ago. Good character though to twice come back from being behind. Yeah,
look, he's probably something we haven't been great at this year. So the character of the lads, the sticking together, the actual belief that we're still going to want to win this game. And there were periods where they were on top, but generally the feel of the game was that if we do the right things, we'll come away with this result. But I thought the effort and desire from each and every one of them to work hard for each other, I thought were great.
For you personally, Rob, I know it's been a busy week with the announcement and everything. Did it feel any different today coming into this now you're in permanent charge at all?
Probably not the last few weeks, no, probably not. I think there are a little bit more nerves around the whole club. Really, let's be honest. We want to end on a high, and London have been pushing teams pretty close. They're doing really well. If you look at the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks, let's be honest, they probably should have beat Leeds last week. I thought they were the better team. Hit the post, crossbar it might have been, and probably should have gone away with that game. So they're no deadbeats. So probably a little bit more nerves around the camp this week.
How much do you feel for London and the sort of the tough situation they're in? Because they're giving a great account of themselves week in, week out, again today, but ultimately they sort of know the fate already.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I've had sort of arguments with people in the past before. Do we go to a franchise system, or do you go one up, one down? And obviously being an English lad, you're so used to relegation, promotion, and the lower clubs. But then I also understand the financial sort of burden that puts on certain clubs, and there has been a bit of a yo-yo system where one comes up, they're pretty much the same. I think Gravy Arn came to us in Salford, and he got relegated 3 years on the trot. And as soon as he signed for us at Salford, I was like, oh no, we're going down. We went down. Because the same playing group, there's such a small sort of pot of players to pick from. Generally what happens is the club that comes up, because it's very last minute, you have lads that have got good jobs in the division below, don't really want to go full time. So then all that happens is that group of players go that, unless you're someone like Lee, who can make signings way in advance. And they were obviously really smart the way they did it. Obviously got a back of that was obviously great for them how we backed him, but yeah, so there's two sides of it. I see both sides.
I want to touch on a couple of individuals. Ollie Russell, it was his 100th Giants game today. Just gives an insight as someone who's sort of seen him rise up through the ranks as to what his development's been like.
Yeah, see, we originally bought him. We had an England academy half. And originally when he got released from Wigan, I watched him, how the academy coach. So mine and Ollie's journey have gone together really. So I'm really sad that he's leaving. Got a really good relationship with him, and originally were brought in to be a crutch. He was the crutch for the other kid, and just as it always happens, you don't know how kids are going to develop and move on. He just kept the other kid end up being the crutch for Ollie really, and he flourished into a. I think he understood it. I think he's starting to understand his game. He understands what he's good at and what he's bad at. He's going into an age now where, he's harnessing his game his sort of kicking game, and his skills getting a lot better since I had him at academy. I just think what I like more than anything else about him is how tough he is. He defends tough. For a little lad, he defends tough. Someone who's small as well, I always admire that. So I love the fact that he defends tough.
It's going to be tough to see him in a Wakey shirt next season.
Yeah, he's a little bit, if I'm honest. He's a little bit, yeah. There's been a fair few academy lads that have come through with me in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years that have left, which, have come through their journey was with me really, so it's not been nice seeing a lot of them go.
Ollie Wilson played as well. How late was he available? I know he tapped in the week that his other half was going to labour, hadn't you?
Yeah, they was in labour for about a week. It seemed like a long time, or maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me getting a bit nervous because obviously, look, he's somebody who's played international. He's an international middle. He might not got picked this time due to injury, but he's constantly pushing now in the top tier props. He's got an unbelievable carry of the ball, one of the best in the game. He whacks people defensively, and for us, he's somebody that we need to build the club around. He's a really nice kid. He's humble. All the things off the field are a credit to him and his family. But on the field, he's an unbelievable player. So, I've been ringing up all week pretty much going, can you play? Can you play? Are you ready? And he put his hand up and said, look, even though he just had a newborn, he put his hand up and said, yeah, he's ready to go this week, which were. And I thought his first stint were great.
How has he been in the last couple of days? And now he's a dad, you'll probably know better than him what it's like, having that happen in your personal life and then bouncing straight into a game.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a fog, I reckon, at first. I actually knocked myself out at Saints the first time I had a kid, and I forgot I had a kid. And it was only when I all the way through the game, I'm going, Brook, you've had a kid? He's going, yes, you've had a kid. Get in the scrum. I'm going, I don't feel old enough to have had a kid. And it was only when I got home, my wife was there with Leo. I've had a kid. I actually remembered. So luckily for him, he didn't have that same experience that I had. But I just thought, I thought it was a testament to his character that he told me he's had no sleep. But I think a lot of times on that first one, you're living on a bit of adrenaline anyway. So, yeah, we were good.
Cheers, Robert.
All right.
Just on the penalty to go in front, obviously there was a bit of debate about it. Rock obviously looked like he got over the line. What was your take on that?
Which one, sorry?
When the penalty, he got done for dissent, got pushed behind his own goal line.
Yeah.
He looked like he got the ball over the line.
Oh, have you watched it back? I haven't watched it back. I didn't know. Did he get it over the line or not?
Seems to think that, yeah.
He says it or the ref says it? Who said it?
It's just how we saw
Who said it?
We said it.
We said it, but the coach, obviously Mark Eccles said it as well, but it did look like he got it down.
Yeah, look, obviously it's tough go against you, don't they? Do you know what I mean? It's just we've had loads that have gone against us this year. We've had all sorts that have gone against us. We've had lots of decisions, and sometimes that's probably not my place to say whether it were right or wrong. If you want to go back through the year, I could probably find about 15 stuff that I'd like to actually get reviewed and go back on, but it's not for me.
Jake, what's Jake Connor?
Oh, he's done for a year.
Is
Yeah, he's done for a year. Yeah, it's going to be a decision at the moment. He's done his MCL, and they decided that whether he needs an operation or if he needs an operation, it'll be 12 weeks. If he doesn't need an operation, it'll be 8 weeks.
Well, there were no fears about motivation for the last two games. I mean, essentially, table-wise, there's nothing to play for, but obviously that's not something that you would wish the players to be.
Look, they're in a really privileged position. I've said this to them before, that if you go back when you're 7, 8-year-old self and ask yourself if you've got an opportunity to play 2 Super League games, you'd snatch your hand off, and that's how you need to approach every single game. Whether you play, whether you're playing for nothing, or ask my wife what I'm like with my kids playing Scrabble or whatever it is. Generally, if you're a professional athlete, you want to win, and you want to do yourself proud, your family proud, the fans proud, and the club proud. And fingers crossed, I'm going to instill that in the boys, but it should come from within anyway.
Will those last 2 games, Luke, give you any indication about who you want to keep going to next season now that you're the permanent head coach of the club?
Hopefully, the last few weeks there's been a little bit of that anyway. You know, a little bit. It's very difficult this time of year. Look, we are behind the 8 ball. We're behind the 8 ball. You know, everyone. You know, listen to Wigan and KR. They're talking about 2026 recruitment. We're still sort of in 2024, potentially thinking about 25. So, but I'd like to think that I'm trying to instill things as much as I can now within the group, and hopefully we can start to see that. And then next year, hopefully again, and fingers crossed, if we do that next year, then the year after in particular is when you'll probably, hopefully see that ingrained in them. Can I just say as well, I don't know if we've got man of match, but for me, Leroy Cudjoe is unbelievable at the moment. And I am so chuffed that he's decided to play another year, because at the moment he is pretty much my best player every week. He's reinvented himself to a middle, and I always said for about, I was the one pushing him about 18 months ago, when he can play in the middle, you know, and know a bit of playing in the middle. He's basically turned himself into an old school loose forward who basically controls the team at the moment, both with his D and his attack. And yeah, I just think it's credit to him how he's reinvented himself, but not only that, he's doing an unbelievable job. So I just want to give him a bit of a mention.
I know, had they been talked about before? Because obviously he went to back row for a bit, didn't he? But I mean, years back he could have gone to 13.
I pushed it about 18 months ago, 2 years ago. I kept saying, because I saw Callum Watkins going to, I can't go in. They remind me, very similar type of players. I was like, he can do it in there, you know. Like, he's a big human being anyway, he's massive, he's strong, he's got good wrestle. I went, he's probably losing his leg speed. And it was really evident when he was on the wing at centre, but actually when you put him into the middle, that leg speed's phenomenal for a middle. So I've been pushing it for a long time, and it slowly went into back row, and it's obviously transcended now into the actual middle, but I think he's been brilliant in there.
Will he be 13 next year then? Is that him?
Well, he's pretty good at the moment, isn't he? I've also got some more, to be fair, Harry, I've also got Harry who can play in there, who's showcased. He's a really good 13. He's doing a really good job for me in the back row at the moment, he's Harry. But he's somebody else who can, I think he can fill that void as well.